All right, y'all. It is the early morning hours of April 13th, 2025, Sunday, April 13th, 2025, year of our Lord. Is Palm Sunday for some, it is Passover for others. Happy to all of you. And for including Detroit City FC faithful. Normally, Garrett here do this stuff alone, but this is a special Detroit City FC recap. Because joining me,
we had to do it.
We had to do it. The crossover. You have seen this gentleman's fine face along with the other ones on the Channel 451 Tunnel Talk series on there, and I think this is only fitting to return to even out for my cameo in this week's Tunnel Talk. The Peruvian hair god himself, Jaime Pedro Ventura. We've done some of these stuffs before on YouTube Live for Channel 451, but now getting able to do our first post-match recap together. Special circumstances. Detroit City FC at Phoenix Rising today in the desert. We got to have 50-degree weather here. It was 99 during the day in Phoenix, 92 at kickoff. Our dear friend
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Indeed, our friend Jam was there, and it was looking like it was going to be another disappointing Detroit City FC match day, which we'll get into some of the more details tonight. It was at one point Detroit City was 2-0 down very late in the match before a Reese Williams ball in the box finds a very clinical finish from Darren Smith, who then scores shortly after that. And then to tie the game at 2, and then a Jessiel Cedeno Bainer, 3 goals in 4 minutes. Detroit City FC takes 3 points in the desert. Phoenix Rising 2, Detroit City FC 3. Has there been a Detroit City FC match that you can think of that has seen a mood swing or shifts? Maybe Open Cup against the Crew quickly, but even
I mean, honestly, the one that comes to mind where we were down, seemingly out of it, and then the comeback. I mean, it's the famous game against Lansing back in 2017,
the 3-0 and the draw.
Yeah, but yeah. What comeback? I thought. I mean, I think everyone thought it was over. Probably even by the time that Phoenix scored the second goal, things were looking pretty grim. But yeah, a lot of determination. Obviously, didn't give up until the last whistle, and 3 goals. How about that?
There were moments in the second half. I thought the first half, we were moving the ball a little bit better to me than what I had personally seen in against Monterey Bay last week. First goal, ball in the box from the left-hand side for Phoenix. Did it look like that? In your opinion, did that look like something Carlos Herrera should have gotten to, or was just our defender on the far post just beaten for an easy header?
I think there's probably a lot of blame to go around on that goal. I thought Reese Williams got beat pretty easily on the wing. To give the guy the space to cross it in. And then, for me, Herrera's got to do a better job. He kind of flapped at the cross. He didn't really go with a lot of conviction. And then, Devin, I think he had 2 guys at the far post, but he wasn't marking either of them. So
right.
It was just
one on either side comes in, basically, and that causes just chaos.
Yeah. So it was a comedy of errors on the first one. And, it was an unfortunate goal to concede, because I thought, they were doing all right to start with, and it just felt like kind of took the wind out of our sails a little bit.
So first half goes in 1-0. Second half, City start to really get into it early on. A little increase in tempo on there. A couple near mid-range. Jordan Albayo-Smith will have a chance that we've joked about other people with before. I almost dropped something in the WhatsApp about on there. Jay Chapman hits the post on a crossbar on a drive.
Yeah.
It seemed like Phoenix Rising was trying to tell us early on that they didn't want this lead, and we were trying to accept their gift, but we just couldn't execute. at 1-0, and then another. It seems like we have moments this season where we turn off, and I thought this was going to be the death knell, the Stephen Carroll. Then causes a breakaway by Rising, who at the end, however, able to regroup themselves on the breakaway, then calm, square it, 2-0. We think that's it. Was there anything else you noticed in that led to that just calamity?
No, I mean, I started off as our throwing, I think, right? And then like it's just kind of like one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden it hits the post. You know, on the breakaway, the initial shot hits the post, and you think, oh, maybe we got away with it, and then you know the second shot, which you said, like you said, they just kind of square it. I mean, it's a really good finish, but yeah, I mean, just again, like seems like a goal that probably we could have prevented if everyone had been switched on. But
so at 2-0, you start to see some things in here. Darren Smith came on in the 60th minute for Jordan Adebayo Smith. Ben Morris came on just before that for Connor Rutz. Maury Donor comes on for Alex Villanueva. Donor coming on means Maury takes the right-hand side, Reese Williams moves to the left. And this is where I thought Alex was kind of one of our shining points in the first half, along with Ryan Williams to an extent. I thought Maury Donor helped really start to step things up. And like, because I feel like when he's on the right flank, he plays with a little bit more aggression than Reese Williams. But Reese that opened up Reese. That ball into Darren Smith. So it was Smith in the 87th, Smith in the 89th, Cedeno in the 91st. That was the first. I tell you what, that first finish I saw, that was a finish I feel like we've seen like Jean-Claude Lawson do in his sleep, normalist times. And then that second finish again, how good does it feel to just have a clinical finisher like that? 4 goals already this year, but just being at the right place at the right time and knowing what to do in that moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what the team's been needing for years, really. I mean, since we joined USL, you know, we kind of had some guys that, you know, I think Pato had a nice 2022 season, you know, but I mean, it wasn't like you thought like this is the guy that's going to score us the goals that we need, right? And you know, again, 2023 we didn't really have anyone, and nobody scored anything. Last year, you know, Ben Morris again had a nice season, but again, I mean, yeah, like you say, like someone who you just feel like is in the right place at the right time. Man, it's something it feels like you can't even teach that. It's like something you're born with almost. And yeah, Smith's got it.
And then the winning goal can spread it out. It was Cedeno in on there. Jay Chapman with the assist there. I've been kind of clamoring for Cedeno to try taking some shots in his runs because he's always seems to be taking peak defenders on, having that moment. His first goal for Detroit City FC. What a way to cement yourself.
Yeah, what a banger, you know. It felt to me like we've needed more from him the last couple games. I thought the first 2 games he played really well without scoring, but he had a couple assists and was kind of active. And then you know, I'm trying to remember, for sure against Louisville he was kind of like completely absent, and you know, nobody really did much against Miami. But I mean, you can see what he's capable of. Or Monterey, yeah, sorry. But you can see what he's capable of, and yeah, I mean, I think initially it didn't look like. I mean, I didn't think he was going to shoot it. Actually, he kind of like cut in on the left onto his left foot, and I was like, oh, he's probably going to try and like slot this through to someone, and then he just unleashed it, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah, I look at this. It just taking shots. It's imagine what is that saying of you miss 100% of the shots you never try.
Michael Scott / Wayne Gretzky
/ life in general. 5 on target of the 16 we took. Pass level seemed to be relatively even between the sides. I mean, it's massive. It's really like 4 minutes changes this mindset of how we're feeling about this match. 4 minutes changes from being 300 plus minutes consecutive without a goal.
Yeah.
To now you're getting 3, and going from maybe tied for 5th or 6th in the Eastern Conference to now joint 2nd with Loudoun Unite with Louisville City, who didn't play today. Is absolutely massive. Real quick, I'll just name. I don't know what to call this because we've seen rumblings of some people will say score lines around this, around that. Here's what happened today in USL Championship. Hartford Athletic Indy 11 did not play. Apparently icy conditions in Hartford, or pitch conditions, or whatever it was. That was somebody dropped something in our WhatsApp. I think it was Alan posted it.
Yeah.
Either way, a match was not played, so Hartford Athletic is still winless. Lexington SC Las Vegas 0-0. Charleston Battery fell behind the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. However, they won 2-1. Tampa Bay Rowdies won Loudoun United 2. Rowdies releasing their head coach earlier in the week. Loudoun first place in the Eastern Conference, 5 wins and a loss out of 6. They good. Tulsa won, Oakland Ritz 2. Potentially, you would think maybe with the way Tulsa started off, maybe one of the bigger upsets in the league. That's Ritz's first win, too. However, not the biggest upset because San Antonio won Miami 2.
Poor Harry.
Anything is possible. New Mexico won North Carolina 0. Monterey Bay 2-1 over Colorado Springs. Orange County 2-1 over Sacramento. And this one, Phoenix Rising 2, Detroit City FC 3. Shout out to Jam. Shout out to, I know, Roger and his wife were also in Phoenix.
Yeah, there was a good crowd out there of a contingent of Detroit City supporters.
So with that win, we got Open Cup, 7 o'clock this coming Wednesday, Westchester SC, which a newfound League One side, and we ironically get to play twice this year because they're also in our group stage for the Jägermeister League Cup. 2 questions for you on that. How much rotation do you expect to see, and will we get the start of the Detroit City FC debut? This is the hard pressing question. So Trevor James, Danny Dico, anybody on the football inside that needs to listen, pay attention to this question that I'm asking and answering, because I think the people, you should know what the people want. Is should Tatenda Makruva start on Wednesday, and will he start?
So it'll be interesting because usually they give the backup goalkeeper the cup games, but obviously Herrera's had a run in the team because of Saldana's injury. So I think Saldana
made Saldana made the bench today instead of Makruva.
Right, he was on the bench today, so it probably would make sense for Makruva to maybe get the nod. But I mean, I guess we'll see where the coaching staff's mind is at. But wouldn't surprise me.
How much rotation do you see in the squad for Wednesday?
I guess it depends a little bit on some of the injured guys. You know what I mean? I think there's obviously been some guys who haven't gotten many minutes at all. But Gasso was on the bench today. I think that's the first match day squad that he's made. Right. So maybe he gets in to the team. Obviously a guy like Wheat who played those first 2 matches, and I thought he did really well.
Came on at the end to see things out.
Right. Yep. He had a little cameo at the end tonight. So I could see him getting back into the team for there. I mean, does Yamazaki get in, or some of those guys maybe?
How's Atis Diop if he's dealing with any issues groin wise, or if he's able to get in and slot? Yeah, I'm with you on there. I haven't had a chance to check in Tunnel Talk yet, but what's your prediction for Wednesday?
All right, can I just say, as far as predictions go,
yeah,
I predicted 3-2 for tonight.
You did. I saw the little thing, and Dennis was the one that took your 4-0 spot. Dennis
took my, the 4-0 is a bit, so Dennis stole it from me. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm gonna have to get serious here and make a real prediction, and I predicted 3-2. So I just want to put that out into the universe.
Mm-hmm. I predicted 1-0 and a Ryan Williams free kick on Nick City McSpence earlier. But as we could tell, I thought it was going to be a grind. It was a grind, but a different grind.
My only thing was I knew like Phoenix has conceded so many goals. So I was like, this is probably going to be like a shootout type of uh game, and it turned out to be that way by chance. Um, for though I don't know, I feel like it could be a little bit weird. I feel like it's probably going to be closer than maybe people expect. I would say probably 1-0 for the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday. Um, but we'll see. I think it's definitely a win. Definitely a win.
Yeah, I want to see if the one thing that's going to be key for me is getting back in town from Phoenix. Temperature difference. It's a high of 52 during the day on Wednesday right now, so my guess is going to be in the high to mid to high 40s around kickoff, cold Keyworth night, maybe some wind. So a few different conditions on there. I think we're recording tomorrow night so this will be the first place where I'm doing a prediction for this week for the cup. I'll say 2-0. I think we can get enough to do a 2-0. It's going to be not, like you said, it's not going to be an easy. I think, I think there's not as much of a talent gap as some might think between championship and League One sides, especially when you account in the amount of rotation we'll likely do.
Right.
Wheat, Sheldon, who else am I thinking of? Gasso. I mean, there's a handful of guys in there. This could be a Marcello Polisi match. So, I mean, Guanzati. So, yeah, I think that will be interesting to see on there. And obviously, 3 days later, the big match for some in support of the league match. Rhode Island coming to town. Maxi Rodriguez returning to Keyworth, Rhode Island. They were off this. Yeah, Rhode Island were off this weekend in league play. They are at Portland Hearts of Pine in League Cup and Open Cup on Tuesday. Bit of some mixed bags of results. Rhode Island have had a couple beatdowns. Drew and Phoenix wrecked it. They won last week. Who did they take on and beat? I'm forgetting real quick. They would not in Loudon. I know Loudon peppered them a couple weeks back when we were in Louisville. They beat. I should realize this. Was it Miami that they beat down? No, I don't think it was Miami that they beat down.
Let's see.
Oh, they won at Oakland. So, which a few teams have won in Oakland. So,
right.
I think it's going to be a tough match. I think it's going to be cagey. I think it's not going to be a whole lot. I think tonight was going to be a more open matchup than what you're going to see on Saturday in the league play, but who knows? It's holiday weekend. Anything's possible. 4 p.m. on that.
While I'm calling my shot, Maxi Rodriguez is getting sent off. Write it down.
Straight red or double yellow?
No, straight red.
Who eggs him on?
Definitely going to be Michael Bryant. He's going to wind him up. Maxi's going to lash out. And we'll all be doing the wave goodbye, the walk of shame down the tunnel.
Oh my God, I'm definitely dropping this and make your prediction in here for Make City Make Spence. What's your score prediction on that as well? How you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think after a game like today, where there's obviously a lot of physical exertion, a lot of emotional exertion. Then you have to travel, come back, play midweek. It could be not much soccer, and I can imagine it being like a 1-1 or something like that. But yeah, maybe not like the most memorable game of soccer.
So you going ones?
I'm gonna go 1-1.
All right, who gets the goal for us?
If I was being really cheeky, I'd say Maxi Rodriguez own goal. But I think you got to go with Smith. You got to go with the hot hand. I think he's gonna keep going. Add another tally to his already stellar 2025 campaign.
I am with you in the fact that it's going to be physical. It's going to be cagey, especially like I feel like Rhode Island's forwards are going to make it physical on there. Whether it's Fusen and Dequa and Williams, center backs are going to have to work, and at the same time, also too, with the amount of wing play that's been going on, if we've had whether it's Villanueva, Reese, or Donor, balls are going to be in the box. Um, you know what? I feel like I'm going to go 1-0 for City on that. And I feel like I'm with you right now, Darren Smith. I think going with Adebayo Smith today starting, I think was interesting. Adebayo Smith with Connor Rutz and Jesse Osadinho up top. Darren coming on as a sub and bagging both, and Ben Morris as well, who I thought, provided a good spark with especially movement in the lates. So will Danny try to do Danny and the staff try to do something like that on there more, or is he going to be like, okay, you're ready to go, start you from the tops? There's obviously it'd be like what worked the last game, but at the same time, you got 2 goals from your top striker. He's warranted 90.
When I saw the lineup tonight, I thought it was maybe a case of DKO thinking, we haven't scored the last couple of games. Maybe we'll try and shake it up a little bit, try something different. But in the end, it's it was the 2 guys that, and we could have scored earlier for sure, but it was wasn't until we got Smith and Morris on that we kind of finally were able to hit the back of the net. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to them 2 guys, but could also be something completely different. So
indeed. All right. I think with that's going to be probably maybe one of our longest recaps we'll do in a while, but because I had special reasons tonight for it.
We were buzzing.
So yeah, we had to. I mean, this is when you got to do something and you have opportunity arises, make it count. Detroit City FC did tonight. Jaime, fill in addition to seeing everything for Channel 451, where else can folks find you in the online circles, Instagram, Twitter, Sky, Blue Sky, anything in there?
There is a Twitter account that I still have. It's pretty dormant at the moment, but yeah, I'm mostly on Blue Sky these days. Jaimito El Crack 7. Yeah, come talk soccer, man.
Don't forget also for our people that in our Spanish-speaking contingent of Detroit City FC.
Oh yeah.
There's also Alpha Detroit City.
Yep, correct. Yep.
And what's that handle for that?
So it's AUPA Detroit City, AUPA. And yeah, it's just a little Spanish language thing that I do for fun.
And what's the Channel 451? Is it channel 451.bsky.social?
I think we kept the same one from Twitter. It's 451 DET.
Yeah. So, latest episode, Tunnel Talk, is out now, both wherever you check your podcast on audio form and at the YouTube, which is Channel 451. For any other, also, Make City Make Expensive Majors TV content, Majors TV on YouTube, TMSNX Detroit, Twitter, Instagram on there. Plenty of things coming out this week on that buzz, because not only we have Detroit City FC stuff, we have Pistons playoff week.
Let's go.
Be on the lookout for some special preview episode on there where we got Matt Felbush on there, and then
Tigers off to a decent start as well.
Yeah, which Tigers are buzzing in there too. Preview episode from a couple weeks with the Audis also up for all those checking in there. So like I said, plenty of things in the pipeline on there. Jaime, mi hermano, thanks for joining tonight on there or in these early morning hours. And for everyone else, thanks for taking the time to check this out. And yeah, until next time, see ya.
Bye.